Yes, my name is Paul. I'm from Loftech, and we have one of Taiwan's B2B app called Juker. Okay, and so basically our customers are telephone companies. Okay, so we got our start developing what we call telecom OTT. Why do telecoms need OTT? Because they're under a lot of pressure from B2C apps such as Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Line, Viber, etc. Okay, and that's eating into their voice revenue and their SMS revenue. Okay, and they needed something to, bring the customer back to them. Okay, so what's best is to create a software that can help the telcos provide the services that most of these B2C apps have, plus they can sell to their business or government customers. Okay, and so that's how Juker got started as a telecom OTT. Businesses see, communication differently than what consumers see. Okay, we can all use Gmail for our business communication, but in reality, most businesses want their own email system, okay, or want their own telephone system. The reason being is they want to be able to manage the communication between their company and the public. Okay, and why is that very important? Because in some ways it's a risk management issue. Okay, how can you preserve the privacy of your customers? How can you preserve the privacy of your communication? Okay, how do you preserve the privacy of your business data that's being transmitted across these social apps? Okay, so the cost of the software is going to be a lot less than the cost of the risk that you're taking. Actually, we see the telephone marketplace. It's usually 3 to 4 large players fighting each other for the market share. But actually, the market share doesn't change that dramatically. Okay, but recently there's a new competition coming in, which is these social apps that's taking away their market share. Okay, so what we actually work with is 1 or 2 of the telcos, and by using this OTT solution, they can grab customers away from other telcos very easily without having to change their SIM cards. Okay, and just by downloading the app, they become their customers. At the same time, by downloading the app, they become competitive against these social apps. Okay, so this app allows them to compete against all their different competitors. Okay, for telcos, what we do is we make their dumb pipes a lot more smarter. Okay, that means instead of focusing on just voice and IM, okay, there's a lot more new services that can sell on top of that. Okay, so we're rolling out with e-commerce on top of IM. We're rolling out with IoT on top of IM. Okay, we're having new applets, okay, that allow vertical segments, okay, to happen into a chat app. Okay, why is that important? It's because if we look at PCs, in the last 20 years, almost all the applications went from an installed app to become a browser-based app. Okay, and today most people have their own cell phones, okay, or smartphones. Okay, but people are using more of the chat apps in the smartphones than they are using the browsers in the smartphones. And why is that? Because interaction is quite interesting. Okay, in the browser, it's a fixed format. You need to know how the map goes, and you need to know how to navigate the website. But in the chat, it's a lot more interactive. Actually, you're interacting with a bot or a person, okay, or with a device, okay, and that's going to be the key way of communication for commerce, for IoT, for smart city. And we feel that in 20 years or in 10 years, chat app will be the interface for all your applications. Okay, and we're starting to see that a little bit into B2C apps, okay, such as WeChat. Okay, but we don't see a lot of that in B2B apps, okay, or in telecom apps. And we're hoping that we can provide that to be a competitive advantage for telcos. They can make more money other than voice and IM. Well, a typical user will be office workers. okay? Because the operators are selling to the corporations, and the corporations are providing this as a service to their employees. Okay, and there's a lot of benefit for using this from an office point of view is that your extension becomes mobile. I can pick up my phone anywhere as long as my mobile phone and the app is next to me. Okay, when I'm outside and I'm making a phone call, actually I'm making the phone call as if I'm at my desk. Okay, and I'm connected to all the internal IT systems within, the company. So I can chat with my IT system. I can get the information I needed on a real-time basis. Okay, and these are all the benefits that an employee can get by using the Juker app. Okay, well, privacy is quite important in these chat apps, especially what's happened recently. Okay, and so one of the things that we develop as a technology is what we call federated cloud. Okay, a federated cloud allows the data to stay within the country that the communication is being done. Okay, it also allows it to stay within the enterprise that the communication is being done. So for example, if I'm talking to a coworker, okay, or talking to my customer, this information stays within the company. Only when I'm calling or talking to someone else, then the information will be in the national cloud. Okay, only when I'm talking internationally will it go to the global cloud. That way, the data can be more localized, and the company have more control over it. Okay, but privacy is not just where the data resides. It's also, for example, in a chat room. There's 5 or 6 people in my chat room today. Let's say tomorrow, will you know, are these the same 5 to 6 people? Okay, can you set a parameter saying that, okay, this chat room only allows my coworkers, okay, or my customers? Okay, so can it automatically kick out people who are no longer my coworkers? Okay, that's a privacy issue. So these are the controls that a B2C app doesn't provide. A B2B app provides these control mechanisms where it's automatically checking on a real-time basis who's allowed and who's not allowed in these chat rooms. For example, from a company point of view, employees get moved from one project to another project. Okay, as soon as you move from one project, you will no longer have access to the information on that project. But at the same time, you get access to all the information in the new project. Okay, and these are all done automatically in the back end. Okay, so it's convenient for the company and it's convenient for the employees. Yeah, we worked with VNPT to launch an app called Carol. Okay, and it's actually pretty unique in many ways. It's the first B2B app in Vietnam. Okay, and each of the app that's downloaded get a VNPT mobile phone number. So that means when you call out to any telephone, it shows the VNPT mobile number, and you can use that number to call back in and the app would answer. And this feature is quite interesting is because it allows corporates to provide their employees a corporate benefit such as a corporate phone. Okay, so they can assign a number to all their employees and allocation of how much phone calls they can make, and then becomes their extension or their office phone. Okay, and at the same time, they're working with the government to roll out new e-government services. So the citizen can start interacting with the government using the Carol app to get new services that they normally would have to do through the web. Yeah. Actually, it's looking pretty good in Vietnam. We've got over 300,000 downloads in the first week, and it's still growing very rapidly. Okay, and we're starting to work with VNPT on new services such as mobile payments, e-commerce. Okay, so we're looking to roll that out within the next 3 to 4 months. Okay, and they're very, very insightful in terms of where the market is. So they're giving us a lot of feedback in terms of how we can penetrate or, grab a larger market share in Vietnam. And we really appreciate this really very close partnership between the operator and the software company. Well, after our first launch in Vietnam, we started to get more traction in the rest of Southeast Asia. Right now we're talking to 4 different operators in the Southeast Asian region. We're talking to a few operators in the Middle East and Africa region. And we're also talking to operator in Japan. So we're starting to see a lot more interest in a technology called telecom OTT with a federated cloud that allows the data to be located locally. Okay, and in some ways we feel that we've hit a sweet spot in this market. So for Loftech, for Juker, our goal is to go internationally as quickly as we can.